Hello, my people. So today I'd like to share 5 lessons that I've learned in negotiation as a real estate agent for the duration that I've been doing real estate. As a real estate agent, half of your job is negotiation. You're always negotiating with landlords, with clients, with tenants, with caretakers. It's always a negotiation, always. And it would really help to build on that skill. And so I'll share with you 5 tips which I've learned through my experience, and which I wish someone would have told me earlier, but I got you. So I'll tell you so that you can learn from my mistakes. So lesson number 1 is to choose a position and choose it early. Decide whether you're going to be representing the seller or the buyer. Decide whether you're going to be representing the landlord or the tenant. Decide that early and have an ideal outcome in mind. It's very hard to equally represent both people because when you're a new agent, you're trying to sort of be like a diplomat. You don't really have a stand. You're not sure you're defending the tenant. When you're going back to the landlord, you don't have a defined position. But these days, personally, I always have a position. Before I get into a deal, I know that in this deal, I'm going to represent the buyer. I'm going to push for the buyer to get the best price. I'm going to push for maximum repairs. I'm going to push for great lease duration. If I'm on the landlord side, I know I'm going to push for the price to go as high as possible. They're conflicting. And so you have to choose one and stick to it and have an ideal outcome that you're working towards. Number 2 is you need to know your market. Whichever market that you're working in, you need to know it very well. Otherwise, this will make it hard for you to negotiate, especially with buyers and tenants who are looking to rent or buy. When you don't know who you're competing with, then your tenant will come and tell you anything. Your client can come and tell you, I got a house for 70,000. It's all en suite. It has a pool. It has a garden. It has a gym. And they're like, okay, why have you not rented it? Why are you still here looking for houses? But if you know your market, then you'll be like me personally these days, I'm like, okay, what's the name of that apartment? Because personally, I know every single market, every single apartment in my market, I know it. And if you tell me, for example, apartment X, I'll be like, no, it doesn't have a pool. No, this house is bigger than that one. No, these units are fewer than that. You have to know your market. When you know your market, no one will bullshit you because you have all the facts straight and you're able to negotiate better, especially with buyers and renters because they're workers sometimes. And then number 3 is you need to listen. As a real estate agent, your biggest skill set is listening. When you let people talk, usually they'll tell you what they want. You have to listen. Make sure the client is talking 5 times more than you. And they'll keep talking, and especially if there are 2 of them and they're walking through the house and they're talking to each other and talking to you, the more you listen, the more you can hear what they want. And during the negotiation process, that will help you based on what you heard. But if you're not listening, then you won't be able to get that position. On the listening point also, you need to read between the lines because most people either don't know what they want or they're not very forthright with what they want. So it's up to you to read between the lines. What could this person really want? For example, like a seller, sometimes they'll come and tell you, my last price is 50 million. But that's not true. So it's up to you to read between the lines and see what does this person really want. And they won't tell you. It's up to you to listen. The more you listen, the more you observe, the more you understand, and you're able to read between the lines, and that will help you negotiate. So in a negotiation, not everything is put on the table. It's up to you to see beyond that. And then number 4, yeah. Number 4 is to manage your emotions. So real estate deals are crazy. Any deal worth your while is, by the time you close and it's paid for, you are bound to lose your mind at least 3 times, minimum. 3 times within the transaction. And it's a very emotionally charged situation with the buyer, with the seller, with you, an agent, and maybe you have other agents involved. It's a very emotional situation. It's like a jungle, and there are all types of animals. So there's a lion, there's a dove, and you have to bring all these people together. And you have to be the real estate agent who, during a negotiation, you don't lose your cool, you don't crack under pressure, and you manage your emotions very calm. You remain very, very calm. If the seller is calling you and he's like, if we don't close today, I'm getting out of this deal. Or the buyer is like, if you don't repaint this whole house yellow today and change all these floors to wooden floors, I'm backing out of the deal. There are a lot of emotions that you have to manage and expectations that you have to manage. And during that whole period, you have to be very calm, and you have to be as distant from your emotions as possible. Then you can be the calming force in every transaction. And then my last point is to always be positive and confident. Regardless of how the negotiation goes, it might go well, it might fall out at the last minute. The client might back out, you might not come to an agreement, but with every negotiation, always stay positive, always stay confident, because you might, down the line, you might end up negotiating again with the same buyer or the same seller. So don't ever leave any negotiation table bitter. Live upbeat, regardless of the outcome, and always know that you can live to fight another day and get a better deal.